The Economic Commission for Asia and the Far East was established in 1947 to help the region rebuild from the ashes of the Second World War. Only a handful of member countries were sovereign nations, and economies were still based on rural life and agriculture. The 1950s to the 1990s saw trade and industrialization lead to astounding growth for many parts of the region. As the region grew and evolved, so did ECAFE, where in the 1970s it became the Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, to reflect both the scope of its geographic reach and expansion of its core mandate. Throughout its 75-year history, the evolution of ESCAP mirrored the development arc of the region, as it lent a hand in establishing different institutions. One of the first to be set up was the Mekong Committee in 1957, which later evolved into the independent Mekong River Commission.
ESCAP, or the previous version of ESCAP, Economic Commission for Asia and the Far East, had a formative influence on the Mekong River Commission. And then in 1957, they came up with the landmark report called the Development of Water Resources in the Lower Mekong Basin. And in that report, it also recommended the creation of an institutional cooperation framework for the Mekong, for the Lower Mekong specifically, which I think ESCAP at that time managed to convene and brought together the 4 Lower Mekong countries, Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, and Thailand, into the Mekong Committee.
The Asian Development Bank, established in 1966, was also inspired by ECAFE. As Asia and the Pacific continued to grow and develop, new challenges emerged, necessitating still more institutions to help address these matters. One of these challenges is the harmful impact of climate change on the region.
We are already seeing many kinds of disasters increasing in magnitude and in scope also. Things like more frequent typhoons or cyclones, and then in the future there's going to be sea level rise, and many of our cities are in coastal areas which are going to be affected. And also the fact that many of our cities still have a lot of very poor people, extremely vulnerable and living on lands which are really hazardous in terms of the impacts of climate change.
ESCAP and the World Meteorological Organization partnered together to set up the Typhoon Committee.
Of course, as the Typhoon Committee was created by ESCAP and also WHO, World Meteorological Organization, of course, the activities of the Typhoon Committee will be always in collaboration with these 2 organizations. We have annually some technical meetings and roving seminars and the session every year. And ESCAP always advise us on the better way to conduct these meetings. And we are always in contact with the ESCAP staff for organizing these meetings, mainly on meteorology, hydrology, and also disaster risk reduction.
In the wake of the devastating 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, ESCAP initiated the Regional Integrated Multi-Hazard Early Warning System for Africa and Asia, also known as RIMES.
With the help of ESCAP, we were able to expand to the Pacific region. So we were able to go into countries like Fiji, Solomon Islands, and other countries, small island countries in the Pacific.
ESCAP support was instrumental in RIMES creating certain tools, which are decision support systems, which were quite, let's say, ahead of their time. And since then, I think our work has expanded greatly, moved beyond the coastal systems, covering even agriculture, transportation, energy, public health, and so many other sectors, including disaster management.
At the local level, collective action and collaboration have been most successful. The Regional Network of Local Authorities for the Management of Human Settlements, founded in 1987, has become a model for local-level collaboration projects.
I think ESCAP played a very important role because when you're looking at the mid-80s, no one thought of this kind of a concept. At that time, the idea of what is now called South-South exchange, that is for countries and cities who are not very dissimilar from each other, either in terms of economic development or culture and so on, could actually help each other to come up with the best practices.
Partnerships are at the heart of ESCAP's work in delivering on the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. The cooperation between ESCAP and its regional collaborators is crucial for Asia and the Pacific to move forward together.